Welcome back to Dusting History. Love this picture today. Every single one of these people in the image looks like they've come just straight from central casting. It's such a great picture. So Wanamaker's was a department store, and this was a publicity stunt thing that they were going to do. They were going to fly it across town. Apparently it was a bit of a disaster. The wind took the balloon in a completely bogus direction, which made news for them, but for different reasons. I've spent ages just looking at all the details in this picture. It's just fantastic. So a cursory cleanup and then a levels adjustment just to get me in the ballpark. I'm not so happy with where the guy is on the ladder. There's a fairly bright spot there. So using a radial grad, I'm just going to try and drag out a little dark spot there just to sort of balance up the composition a little. Being careful not to make the balloon too shaded. Alright, as usual, quick step into neural filters with the photo restoration tool. Just seeing how much sharper I can make the image basically. And then into Topaz Photo AI for another pass. Just removing some noise. Now that's fairly aggressive. We're losing a fair bit of detail there, and I don't like quite what it's doing, so I'm going to turn the strength right down. So I think that's pretty good. Now this area is going to take some work. I'm not sure what put that black dot on or all those little splatters, but they're not part of the negative, so they'll all have to be cleaned up. Alright, now this is sped up 2,000 times. You're looking at hours of work compressed here. So this little area was giving me the most grief. It's the most out of focus and the most dirty, particularly this stuff here. So really I just have no option but to paint every dot. Now I generated 2 palettes in AI, color palettes with palette.fm. And I like them both for different reasons. There's certain things about one's not so great, but it has a few nice things like the color of that guy's shirt and the color of the dude up there is sort of red vest. But generally I like the base level one the most. And as you can see, as usual, I put a vibrance adjustment layer above it and just kick up the vibrance a bit to give it a bit more punch. So now in the mask there, I'm just masking through the bits of the palette below that I like. And now I'm just going to explore the colour of the balloon. I'm not entirely sure, it wouldn't be anything but like a canvas or a grey, but it was an advertising stunt. I couldn't find any information on the colour of it, and as much as I tried different colours and different saturations, red just seems to be the best because it really does pull your eye, it focuses your attention. So now I'm going to start the process of really painting on top of this base, trying to indicate some reflectance of the blue sky in those panes of glass, and just working around every single surface, imagining what it's made of, what colour it might be. A lot of those pipes are kind of brown, they should be more pipe colour like steel, gunmetal, blue, and there's lots of things to do here. All the while I paint, I'm trying to bring complexity to the palette, but I'm not trying also not to make any one colour stand out too much. I don't want, it's very easy to put a colour on that just pops way too strongly. You can see a lot of the tones when I'm mixing them. The saturation slide is almost on grey. It's right about now I decided that the bottom of the plate was a bit lifted and the top was a bit dark. So I'm just going to roughly darken the bottom and brighten up the top with 2 adjustment layers. Alright, back to painting. Now for the skin tone of the people, I really find just putting pink on them doesn't work. So I like to find reference. This is some photography of some people in a similar kind of overcast day, and I'll use that as the basis to sample colors. So I'll look for a base level color, which is kind of what I'm applying here over everything. And then I'll look for a slightly redder color for the bridge of the nose, the mouth and the cheeks. And then also a red tone to apply to the tips of the fingers, just to give those hands a little bit of pop as well. While I may have gone a little rosy cheeked on everybody, it does sort of give it a little bit of a variation that I think really adds. One of the last things I do as well is just find some reference of some crazy paving, and whilst its kind of colour temperature is a bit different, I do use it to sample a couple of different tones just to add some variation to the brickwork. I was feeling all a little too uniformly brown. And here is what I think is a spectacular picture. Cleaned up and colorized. That was a lot of fun. Thanks for joining me this time. See you soon.